Happy Monday, television family. Back at it. Hope you had a good weekend. I did, if that means anything. It is Monday, the 19th day of May, 2025. I'm Dan Kuntz. Overcast conditions right now. Not going to see a lot of sunshine today. We're at 46 degrees. It was a pretty cool weekend. Temperatures well below normal. We only got to 64 on Saturday and 65 yesterday, and that's not real warm. Our normal high this time of the year is 72. Temperatures a little bit below normal. We're going to see some sunshine right now, and the National Weather Service is hedging their bets, and they're allowed to do that right now. They say we're not 100% sure how the weekend is coming up, Memorial Day weekend, but right now it's looking pretty good. Quite a bit of sunshine. Temperatures just above normal. We hope that forecast will hold true. We'll have a much better idea of what the three-day weekend is going to look like by the time we visit on Wednesday. But as it is, Memorial Day weekend coming up. Looks pretty good. We'll have the forecast, we'll have the news, and a lot of it. In sports, great weekend for the Mariners. Maybe their best three-game set so far of the year, because they went to San Diego, who is very good, and they swept the Padres. No real issues, including yesterday's victory, 6-1. Highlights of that, and how all the local prep teams did. Who's moving on to state? We'll let you know. A lot of teams are moving on to state. Good weekend for the Bighorns, too. They won both of their games. We'll have that in sports. Mike McNaughty wants to know why Facebook no longer fact checks. We'll have that with our opinion. And a really cool story that our very own Jordan Gonzalez put together with one of our content producers, whose name I forgot. They went to visit Doug Merrill in his adoptive play class at Wenatchee High School. It's a pretty cool class. They do some good work, and they develop some life skills. It's a great little 9-minute profile. You don't want to miss that. We'll have that for you in the back half of the program. It's going to be a good Monday. Let's do our tour. Let's take our tour around the valley. Once again, the Wenatchee Heights camera chimes in, and it looks like we're starting to dry out a little bit. Had a little bit of rain, not a lot, but a little bit of rain over the weekend. We need a lot more. Again, it was pretty chilly, only mid-60s for afternoon highs. Earlier in the day, by the way, Omak got down to 37 degrees. That's now 41 in Omak, so pretty chilly temperatures, and this cool and wet weather is going to continue through the first couple of days of this week before we dry out. Nice view from the Wenatchee Heights area, but what we have right now is pretty much what we're going to have all day today, which is pretty much what we had on Sunday as well. Camera number 2. Up to Lake Wenatchee we go, and it looks like they may be getting a little bit of light rain. Can't even see the summit of Dirty Face, but there is a couple of raindrops on that lens. Might not be the most pleasant day to go golfing at Cato Glen, but it's always nice up there at Lake Wenatchee. The nice thing about this kind of weather, keeps the mosquitoes away. Well, hopefully anyway. They don't like the rain and they don't like the wind. Maybe they'll get lucky and you won't be bitten to death up at Lake Wenatchee and Fish Lake today. Camera number 3. Valley High chimes in on our way up to Blewett Pass. Way off into the distance is the foothills of the Cascades. That's a nice view there. It's not far from where the DOT's shed is, where they have all their sanding equipment and plows and things like that on Valley High. That camera way up there. I wonder how they get to that camera. Probably the old Blewett Pass Highway, I'm guessing, which by the way is a very pretty drive if you've never been on that. And camera number 4. Up to Billy Goat, big swath of real estate there. Look at that, gorgeous. I think that's zoomed out about as far as we can zoom that baby out. Alta Lake chimes in. Wish you could see Gamble Sands, you can't. It's tucked behind that little ridge there to your right on the north side of Bridgeport. But we can see all of Pateros and pretty much all of Brewster, and on up north to Omak, Okanagan, all those beautiful areas there. That's just a stunning, stunning view. How'd you like to live right there? Plowing your driveway in the wintertime, though, I would assume would be a tremendous pain in the rear end, but that's what you get. If you like thin air, it's about 5,000 feet above sea level. 2 slides to show for you. We normally don't show these on a Monday, but why not? Because this gives us an idea of what the Memorial Day weekend is looking like. This is May 24th through the 28th, so this is this upcoming Saturday through Wednesday, and we're leaning above for temperature-wise. Again, our normal temperature this time of the year is about 72, 73. Right now we're leaning, slightly leaning, above normal for temperatures starting on Saturday. Again, right now, it doesn't look too bad. The National Weather Service said we're a little uncertain. Computer models aren't agreeing, but right now, as it looks like it's going to be a warmer than normal Memorial Day weekend for the Pacific Northwest. As far as precipitation is concerned, Also leaning a little above, but not a lot above. And keep in mind, we don't really get a lot of rain this time of the year. When it says, we have a chance of seeing above normal precipitation, we may not get any at all because we really don't have a lot of rain this time of the year, especially in the lee of the Cascades, because we get protected from the precipitation. But I hope this pans out. Again, we're supposed to see a gradual warming trend into the latter half of the weekend, right on into the weekend. Whether that pans out or not, we'll find out together. Sunrise this morning, by the way, was at 5:19. Sunset tonight, 8:36. That's 15 hours and 18 minutes of daylight from the National Weather Service. Here we go. Cloudy today. Did you like yesterday? We're going to do it all over again. If we get any rain, and we do have about an 80% chance of rain. It's between now to about noon, and that high of 65, pretty much what we hit yesterday. So we're just going to do Sunday basically all over again today. Mostly clear tonight. The clouds will be departing. 43 for the overnight low. That's cool. This time of the year, our normal overnight low is 50. It's going to be a little breezy tonight and quite windy on Tuesday. A lot of wind on Tuesday, and again, not real warm. Only in the mid-60s and quite windy. A west wind about 15 miles an hour, gusts above 20 at times. The winds died down Tuesday night, 42 for the overnight low. And then here's that gradual warming trend as we get deeper into the week. Still a little breezy on Wednesday. We'll get up to about 67. Lower 70s Thursday and Friday with quite a bit of sunshine. And then into the Memorial Day weekend we go. Just a little bit below normal temperature-wise, but lots of sunshine Saturday, lots of sunshine Sunday. Little too early to let you know what Monday is looking like, but really starting on Thursday, if this holds true, looks like the weather's going to be pretty nice for what most people will have, a 3-day weekend, including me. Looking forward to that. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, what's making news on this Monday? Turns out a lot. 2 minutes away from the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect, no matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. TourMosesLake.com and start your adventure today.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular, family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. It's time to enjoy one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
Lots of clouds, 46 degrees, clouds all day, rain this morning. This is a pretty good bet. We're going to have some rain before noon, cloudy all day. We'll start seeing some sunshine on Tuesday. Temperatures below normal for most of the week until we get into the Memorial Day weekend. It's 9 minutes after the hour. East Wenatchee police say gunfire broke out during a large altercation. This happened Friday night near the intersection of 3rd Street Northeast and North Georgia Avenue. Nobody was reported injured, but a SWAT team later arrested 9 male juveniles thought to have been involved. The fight was first reported about 7:44 Friday night, and a witness allegedly saw the youths running north from the scene after gunshots were heard. Police said they found shell casings in the roadway when they arrived and gathered surveillance videos that showed the suspects fleeing. The East Cascade SWAT team found the suspects after entering a nearby apartment complex under a search warrant. All 9 were taken into detention on potential charges. Assistant Police Chief Eric Hampton says inside the apartment 3 firearms were recovered alongside additional evidence. Anybody with further information is encouraged to contact the East Wenatchee Police Department. Well, Chelan County Superior Court Judge Travis Brandt made it official. He officially ordered the Cashmere School District to reverse its decision in the case of Kate Jacobson. Jacobson sued the school district back on February 4th. She is a 4.0 full-time Running Start student who was not officially enrolled at the high school until her senior year. The district said she was ineligible to be named a valedictorian because she had not taken in-person classes at the high school for at least 1 semester prior to her senior year. Brandt heard Jacobson's case in court on April 29th. The judge filed his final order on Thursday and said because the district did not have a written policy stating its criteria for valedictorians, Jacobson should receive the honor thanks to her 4.0 grade average. Douglas County says numerous complications are keeping a portion of 6th Street Southeast in East Wenatchee closed. The county has been working on that portion of 6th Street between Nile and Perry since mid-April. The closure is to provide installation of utilities and road improvements for the Orchard Vista subdivision. That's going in on the north side of 6th Street. The county says it has run into issues with decommissioning some of the existing utilities while activating their replacements and encountering unanticipated soil conditions. The closure was initially scheduled to end on May 23rd, but now they say it's going to last until at least Friday, June 6th at 7 p.m. The Grant County PUD commissioners are considering increasing the service application fee for large power customers. The PUD has been operating on a first-come, first-served basis for large power requests. However, now the waiting line for applicants is rather full. So in a meeting on Tuesday, PUD staff proposed requiring customers in the service queue to pay roughly 30% of the total service connection costs of their power request. Doing so is intended to weed out customers who aren't serious about moving forward. It also provides the PUD with more funds to study system connections and designs. Commissioners will vote on the proposed application fee increase at their next meeting, scheduled for May 27th. The doors are now open on the new Quincy Valley Medical Center. The new facility at 10th Avenue Southwest will begin treating patients this Wednesday, the 21st. Clinic leaders cut the ribbon on the new acute care building earlier last week. The new facility features 9 exam rooms, a family care clinic, a triage ward, a trauma room, radiology, and a physical therapy department. It replaces the old Quincy Hospital building, which was built in 1959. The project costs an estimated $52 million. In a 26-hour debate on cutting billions from Medicaid, there are bound to be a few tense moments. It was 21 hours into that session of the U.S. House Subcommittee on Health when 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier came after the panel's Republican chairman with some pointed questions. The bill, by the way, passed out of that committee Wednesday morning by a vote of 30 to 24 with an estimated $700 billion cut to Medicaid. And then it was held up by a second committee on Friday. Our very own Jefferson Robbins tuned into the health hearing and later spoke with Congresswoman Schreier via Zoom.
I just want to pose a big picture question, which is how does kicking or shifting 13.7 million Americans off of their health insurance make America healthy again?
Well, so the question is you're asking is, one is that we're looking at reforming the program, and we're saying are people eligible under the standards of the program, and we do think that getting people to work that have the ability to work is good for them, is healthier for them. I would put that in the category, and so that's where the numbers you're coming from, and then we do believe that people with that aren't here with a legal presence should have health care. So, but I do think people going to work and being engaged and employed, a lot of studies will tell you that I've read over the years, I couldn't cite one, that makes people healthier. Having a purpose makes you
It doesn't hold water with me as a physician. I will just say, like, you might want to consider the fact that people who are healthy are best able to work, and you're only looking at the other way. And I would also say that, you know, if you don't cover people who need health care, it does impact all of our health. If kids don't get vaccinated, as we've seen with these measles outbreaks, every one of us is put at risk. And so I would just ask you, you know, as you think about the bigger picture of what this administration is focused on and what you're focused on, if that is your North Star, I want you to think about what it will mean for making America healthy again to take healthcare away from 13.7 million Americans. And I'll yield back.
It sounds like you are challenging the logic of this approach to Medicaid in the first place.
Absolutely. I mean, when people are sick, they can't work. Getting them well, getting them whatever the treatments they need allows them to go work. I mean, I think he just couldn't really come up with an answer because there is no good answer to it. Because when you take away health insurance, people get sicker, they don't get healthier. And so, like, I used MAHA, the Make America Healthy Again, because that comes from our Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is he's absolutely unqualified to have that job. But, you know, it's like, what does he think? That we can just give people, you know, spinach and raw milk and a little vitamin A and they won't ever need to see a doctor? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense to the American people either. They see right through an answer like that.
And so the finding that was cited often by yourself and other Democrats in committee overnight was about 13.7 million people losing coverage nationwide. There are 2.4 million Medicaid insured people in the state of Washington and quite a few in your own district. So that particular number, do you think that's close to what would be the real impact, or do you worry it would be higher than that?
Obviously, I still worry that it would be higher, and we can talk about that in a moment, but those numbers came from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. So they score all of our bills to see how much they will cost, you know, how many people will lose insurance, those kinds of things. And that is standard before we decide to vote on a bill to know what the CBO score is. So that's a real number, but I want you to think about something else. That counts the people who are on Medicaid and then the Medicaid expansion that most states adopted with the Affordable Care Act that just like scooched the salary a little higher, but these are still people who are struggling to keep afloat. But then if you take away Medicaid, and those patients still get sick and still need care, but they end up going to the emergency room for care for more serious illnesses because they weren't treated early, then we all wait longer for the emergency room. The hospital isn't compensated for that care. And how do they stay afloat? Well, they stay afloat by charging our insurance companies more, which means our insurance rates go up. And so we don't have data for this. I don't know if the CBO evaluated this, but you have to think, well, gosh, if people's insurance rates go up, how many of them are just going to decide, I just can't afford this anymore? So we don't really know, but I think of our healthcare system as like a three-legged stool, and Medicaid is one of those legs. And if you chop that, it destabilizes everything.
The U.S. Forest Service is beginning a summer-long program to reduce wildfire fuels around the Echo Ridge Trail system. That's near Chelan. Crews began work last week with heavy machinery in the area. They're frequented, of course, by mountain bikers. They love it up there. The agency says some trail connections and loops will be closed as the work moves through the trail complex. The project is expected to start at the North Junction trailhead and go on through July. They'll be thinning trees and underbrush to resist fire. None of that work will be taking place on weekends, and it won't affect a scheduled bike race or the scheduled bike races. There are more than one planned for this summer. And a longtime fire chief for the Orondo area has retired. Chief Jim Oatley finished his last day leading Douglas County Fire District number 4 on Thursday. The district serves the area along Highway 97 from roughly Baker Flats to the BB Bridge. They have about 40 firefighters. All of them our volunteers. Oatley has led the district for years and presided over the building of its newest fire station back in 2023 near the BB Bridge. Jeff Zano, the longtime assistant chief of District 4, will step up to fill the full chief's position. Happy retirement, Chief Oatley. And that's the news at 20 minutes after the hour. The news crew will be gathering in the newsroom, figuring out what the news is, writing the news, disseminating the news, picking out the top stories, and out it comes, the news tonight. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, the NCWLIFE Evening News, 5, 6, and 10. That doesn't fit into your schedule. You want to be able to watch the news when you're ready to watch the news. You don't have to worry about missing it. Our news will be up and running via our homepage, ncwlife.com, our Facebook page, our YouTube page. It's out there. Try to make it as easy for you to find our newscast as possible. And if you think something might be newsworthy, and we get emails, trust me on that, send us an email with your news tip, news@ncwlife.com. Good weekend for the Mariners. Good weekend for the Bighorns. Just a busy sports weekend all around. You'll find out about it in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
23 minutes after the hour, the AL West leading Mariners beat the Padres 6-1 yesterday. They sweep the opening series of the inaugural Vetter Cup, named after Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam. The Mariners homered 6 times. They outscored the Padres 15-3 in the 3-game series. San Diego did their part. They went 0 for 21 with runners in scoring position over the weekend.
Bottom of the first back in San Diego. Mariners don't score in the top of the first. Fernando making his way plateward will lead it off. High drive to left field. Rosarena going back, looking up. Nando's left the yard. Fernando's 12th home run of the year puts the Padres on top 1-0. Oh, Nando. Third leadoff home run this season for Fernando.
Wu ready. And the 1-2 pitch, swinging a one-hopper out near second. Charging up with the ball is Rivas. The throw to first in time to get Diaz, and that will retire the side. Nice play by Leo Rivas, and Wu, wow, gets himself out of a jam.
Sinking line drive, and it ticks off the glove of Rivas. Stays with it on to first, and they got him. Leo Rivas hanging in there. 2 down.
Now, what a play from Leo Rivas. Getting a chance to start today at second base. Look, Arise doesn't get up the line real quick, but just kind of throwing that glove to knock that thing down. Keeps in front of him and gets up quick.
This is a bullet out to left field. Randy Arozarena, see you later. He has tied the game on a screamer over the fence and left. Even at 1.
There's one guy in this Mariners lineup that sees Michael King very well. It's Randy Arozarena coming into this game 3 for 8 with a home run.
Taveras out to right field, shot this deep, and it short hops the wall and goes over the fence. The Mariners have taken the lead. Taveras with a ground rule double. It's a bad break for the Mariners. Looked like they had a chance to bring home another, but instead Garver will have to stop at third base. But nevertheless, the Mariners take the lead. Leody Taveras with a base hit. Ground ball, it takes off his glove. Garver's coming home. A long flip is not made by Cronenworth. And a break for the Mariners brings home the 3rd run this inning.
Passive at the plate early on in the count.
This is fair. Right beyond the bag at third base. Just tiptoeing the chalk, and Mitch Garver drives in the Mariners' 4th run. Arozarena scores. Jackson Merrill, a ground ball. Rivas ranging, gets there, throws in time. Dynamite play, Leo Rivas. Brian Wu and the Mariners. Man, are they playing a good game on a Sunday in San Diego. Ground ball over at third base to second, on to first, and they got him. That's exactly what Vargas was hoping for, and suddenly there are 2 away.
Huge pitch right there from Carlos Vargas.
Here is Arise.
The stretch, and again the 0-2 to Arise, swinging a fly ball into straightaway center field. Julio Rodriguez is there, and Carlos Vargas gets himself out of a jam.
Lift that ball into right field.
Out to right field. Tatis having to adjust, and he makes a shoestring catch. Dylan Moore tags on his way home. He slides across safe, and a huge run crosses in the 9th on a sacrifice fly by Cal Raleigh. It's a 4-run Mariners lead. He gets jammed a little bit. A soft fly ball, shallow left center field. Base hit. Rivas scores. Julio with an RBI base hit, and it's a 6-1 lead in the 9th inning. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. In on the hands, he popped him up. J.P. Crawford puts the squeeze on it, and the Mariners win it today. And they kick off this lengthy 3-city road trip with a clean 3-game sweep as they manhandle the Padres in their home ballpark. A final score today of 6-1.
Manager Dan Wilson had high praise for Brian Wu, Randy Arozarena, and the Mariner defense.
Brian Wu, surrendering the homer to start the game, then a base hit to Arise. But after that, really settled in. Some great defense behind him, especially on the infield. JP with a ton of plays. Leo Rivas with some really nifty second base today. Made some great stops and able to get the outs. And then, Demo coming in late, getting that big double play there on Tatis. That's a tough little hop, and he made it look pretty easy. So just a great job defensively all around and on the mound. Vargy, I thought, giving up those couple hits, but just staying true to who he was and got the pitch that he needed to on Tatis. That's a big play right there. And offensively, a lot of great stuff again. Randy with the big homer to get us on the board. And then, Garv, I thought, had some really nice at-bats, did a really nice job behind the plate with Brian today. And then a lot of key contributors there offensively, some big hits, some great at-bats, some walks, just doing what we normally do. It all added up to another win today. Yeah, we've talked a ton about how much they fight and how much they bounce back and how resilient this club is. And that goes back, a while. And, this has continued, and they're just they're confident in who they are and what they do, and they know that if they put their at-bats together, if they pitch, they play the defense, it doesn't matter who's in that uniform, they're going to have a chance to win, and that's what they went out and did this series.
Luis Castillo is scheduled to start tonight, the opener of a 3-game series in Chicago against the White Sox. First pitch is at 4:30. To the standings we go. The Mariners lead is now 2.5 over the Rangers, and the Astros a full 5 games over the Athletics, who've been slumpy lately. Seattle knocking off San Diego. Houston snuck by Texas. Athletics got nipped by San Francisco. The Angels dispatched the Dodgers. Good weekend for the Wenatchee Bighorns. They're down to the very end of the regular season this weekend. They beat Vancouver on Saturday on the road, 132-127, and they beat Salem on the road Sunday, 128-117. Their last two regular season games in Montana this Friday and Saturday at 6 o'clock, and then the TBL playoffs begin. All right, baseball, high school, the District 5 4A tournament. What a championship game. West Valley gets by Moses Lake 1-0. Eastmont won the loser-out game on Friday, 1-0, and then Moses Lake just got by the Wildcats 6-5 on Saturday. Moses Lake moves on to state. Baseball scores on Saturday from the smaller schools. Kashmir beat Chelan for the district championship 10-0. It was a beauty contest. Both teams were already guaranteed a spot to state. Tri-Cities Prep got by Okanagan. Liberty Bell shuts out Kittitas. Tri-Cities Prep then beat Liberty Bell for the championship. Kittitas and Okanagan won. Kittitas beat Okanagan. Both teams had already punched their ticket to state. For Brewster, their season came to an end by losing to Riverview. As far as the schedule is concerned, here we go. Moses Lake is a number 16 seed. That means that's the lowest seed. It's 16 teams in the tournament. They'll take on number 1 seed Puyallup on the road. In the smaller schools, in the 1A, Kashmir is a number 6 seed. They'll travel to Camas to take on Linden Christian, who is an 11 seed. Chelan checks in at a number 9 seed. They'll take on Bellevue Christian. Number 13 seed Okanagan will take on Asotin. And Liberty Bell, a number 7 seed, will take on Napavine. Softball from over the weekend. On Saturday in the District 5 2B playoffs at Ephrata High School, Clay Ellen beat Tenasket, and then Warden beat Lake Roosevelt. Warden moves on to state, and then Kittitas beat Tenasket. The final there was 12-5. In the two-way crossover playoffs, Ephrata moves on to state by taking care of business against East Valley of Spokane. And in the 4A playoffs, Moses Lake defeated West Valley 8-4 for their last chance to state. So here's the schedule in the state WIAA fast pitch tournament. Moses Lake is a number 14 seed. They'll take on Issaquah Friday at 9 a.m. Eastmont is a number 12 seed. They'll take on North Creek Friday at 11 a.m. Ephrata is a number 12 seed. They'll take on Olympic. Kashmir is a number 10 seed. They'll take on Rochester. Tenasket's a number 13 seed. They'll take on Raymond out of South Bend. And Lake Roosevelt, the number 16 seed, will take on the number 1 seed Freeman Friday at noon. Soccer over the weekend. In a last chance to state, Eastmont pulls it off with Davis. It took a shootout, but they won 2-1. Congratulations to Eastmont. They move on to state. Of course, Wenatchee won the District 5 tournament on Thursday night. In the District 5 and 6 2-way crossover tournament, Quincy got by West Valley of Spokane. Quincy moves on to the state. In the District 5 1A 2B combined tournament, Kashmir got by Medical Lake 2-1 to punch their ticket to state. While Luke and Brewster had already punched their ticket to state, they move on. Cascade beat Highland. Both teams had already guaranteed their invitations to the state tournament. So for soccer, here we go. Here's your schedule. Wenatchee is a number 8 seed. They will host Olympia, we think, tomorrow. They haven't finalized that yet. Eastmont is the number 16 seed. They'll take on the number 1 seed in the tournament, Tahoma. That'll be Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Quincy is the number 12 seed. They'll take on the 5th seed North Kitsap. Kashmir is the number 18 seed. They'll take on the Bush School, the number 15 seed. Cascade is the number 10 seed. They'll take on Raymond out of South Bend. And there you go. So it's state tournament time. Cool. Some tournaments will end this weekend. Some will end the following weekend after Memorial Day. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. At 33 minutes after the hour, to our Canadian friends, happy Victoria Day. All of Canada celebrates Victoria Day except Quebec. They celebrate Patriots Day. I don't know why, but it's a national holiday in Canada. It's National Devil's Food Cake Day. I'm all for that. But we're going to throw up a little flag here because that still is the flag of, anybody? The Cayman Islands. Today is Discovery Day in the Cayman Islands. During his 4th and final visit to the Americas, Christopher Columbus came across the Cayman Islands on May the 10th, 1503. They didn't stop. They sailed by. They took a look. They said, man, that's a lot of turtles, and they took off. In fact, the islands, the Cayman Islands, were completely uninhibited. In fact, no evidence has ever been found that the islands had been occupied before the Europeans discovered it. So there's no such thing as somebody native to the Cayman Islands. They were uninhibited until everybody else started showing up. The gross domestic product per capita of the Cayman Islands, $100,000. That makes the Cayman Islands the highest standard of living in the entire Caribbean, one of the highest in the world. In fact, immigrants from over 140 countries and territories live in the Cayman Islands. Why? It's a major offshore financial center for international business. You've heard about this. You have a tax shelter in the Cayman Islands. Cayman Islands charges no tax at all, no income tax or money that you have at the bank. So because they have a zero tax rate on income, it is now a tax haven for corporations. In fact, there are 100,000 companies registered in the Cayman Islands, which is more than there are people living in the Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands economy is dominated by two things, banking and tourists. It helps that the weather is nice. Christopher Columbus discovered the Cayman Islands, and then he went someplace else. It's your day today, Cayman Islands. It's 36 minutes after the hour. Today in history. There's another flag. That one's going to throw you for a loop. A friendly reminder that for 10 years, England was a republic, and then they blew it. May 19th, 1649, 376 years ago, England had just had their second civil war. King Charles I executed, and Parliament declares England a commonwealth. That's the flag. It was passed by the Parliament. They put Oliver Cromwell in charge, and for the next 11 years, England was a republic, not a monarchy. For 11 years. The problem was Oliver Cromwell died after 5 years. His son took over as the Lord Protector of England, and he was an idiot. And a few years later, they decided, we'll bring the monarchy back. But for 11 years, from 1649 to 1660, Great Britain, England, was in fact a republic. Then they went back to the monarchy. What if they regret that? May 19th, 1848, 177 years ago today, the Mexican-American War ends. Mexico ratifies the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. And what did we get for $15 million? We had to pay Mexico $15 million. And we also had to pay off the claims of American citizens against Mexico. They put $5 million in the kitty for that. What did we get? What you see there. California, half of New Mexico, most of Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Colorado. The Rio Grande was established as the southern border. Not bad, not a bad real estate deal. Basically 20 million bucks, and we get what you see on your screen. By the way, if you were a Mexican who lived in that area after the treaty was ratified, you had one of two choices. You could go back to Mexico, or you could stay in America and become an American citizen. Most of them stayed in America. That was on the state in 1848. 52 years ago today, the Preakness Secretariat wins the second leg of the Triple Crown in 1 minute and 53 seconds, a record that still stands, but they didn't figure that out for a bunch of years. Here's a quick snippet.
And they're off for the early lead. That's Deadly Dream on the outside, a Taj. Then it's also Torsion on the outside. They're coming by us. It's a Taj getting it, and he's still moving away by about 2.5 as they pass the stands. Settling into second, Torsion. Sham has good position, third on the rail. It's another 3 lengths back, Deadly Dream. Then our native and Secretariat is last again as they move into the first turn. They're into the turn. A Taj has it by 2 lengths. Torsion second by a length, and then Sham third. Sham under an easy hold right now, but here comes Secretariat. He's moving fast, and he's going to the outside. He's going for the lead, and it's right now he's looking for it. Ronnie Turcotte sends him alongside a Taj. Here we have it. A Taj is the leader, but Secretariat is right alongside. Secretariat by 2 lengths. Sham driving second. There's a strong left-handed whip again by Pinkai. He goes to it time and time again, but Ronnie Turcotte has his whip put away, and Secretariat has him put away. He's beginning to draw away. It is Secretariat. He's coming to the wire. He wins it by 2.5, almost 3. Sham an easy second. Our native third. A Taj fourth. Deadly Dream fifth. And Torsion is sixth. And it was a powerhouse race again by the big, strong Secretariat.
That is one fast horse. The problem was at Pimlico that day, the official clock, the automatic clock, didn't work. So they had to record the time by hand. And there were a bunch of people doing exactly that. And the slowest of all the hand-timed People was the actual official timer at Pimlico. Everybody else had Secretariat running much faster. They didn't figure it out until about 10 years ago. About 10 years ago, with the new technology and the videotapes, they did a forensic review so they could get an accurate calculation of exactly how fast Secretariat ran, and it came in at 1:53, which is still the fastest Preakness ever. We'll see you at Belmont. At 40 minutes after the hour, 2 heavenly birthdays, 2 really big guys. Peter Mayhew, auditioning for Chewbacca. In 1976, sitting on the couch, George Lucas walks in. Peter Mayhew stands up. He's 7'3" tall. George Lucas looked at Peter Mayhew and said, "Congratulations, you're my Chewbacca." That's how he got the job. Peter Mayhew, who died a few years ago at the age of 74, and Andre the Giant, 7'4", 520 pounds. I don't much care for professional wrestling, but I watched that guy. He's huge. He was French, by the way. He died about 30 years ago at the age of 46. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Pete Townsend, 80 years old today and a terribly underrated guitarist. He's really good on the guitar. Happy 80th, Pete Townsend, and happy 76th to Archie Manning. He's Peyton Manning's dad and Eli Manning's dad, and Peyton and Eli each won a couple of Super Bowls. Archie never did, because Archie played on teams that weren't very good. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Our very own Jordan Gonzalez and one of our content producers went to Doug Merrill's class late last month to learn about the adoptive play class. It's a great profile. You don't want to miss it, and it's coming up next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at merrymaidesofwenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. So relax, it's done.
Braden, we talked about lifestyle investor. Where does one even begin that process? Because it seems to me that there's, again, you don't want to put everything in one bucket or you're just hoping for the best. It's basically gambling with your money. How does one begin the process of becoming a lifestyle investor?
Well, I think we have a process, we call it prosperity planning, and one of the meetings that we have when we're going through like a full fee-based financial planning process is we have that thing called a clarity experience. And so we're gonna sit down with our clients, and we're not just gonna go through an investor calculation on risk or an investor profile like you'd say, like most advisors or investment advisors would do. We're actually gonna go into morals, values. What was the relationship of your mom and dad? How did they deal with their money? What do you want 3 generations after you? What do you want the money situation, the business situation, the life situation of your kids? What do you want that to look like? And that all goes into, morals and values, and are we crystallizing those goals and objectives at a really, really high level? Do you want to just transfer valuables, or do you want to transfer values? You have to go into it at a deeper level when you go into really in-depth generational planning. And that's what we do with our clients, is we have that clarity experience. And so once we get that clarity experience and we understand what is valuable and what they want to accomplish, we can align the money really, really easy. Once we know this, we can align this really, really easy. And a lot of times it's done backwards. So we'd like to start here with that clarity experience.
This is Mike, Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So, Facebook isn't going to fact check anymore. Well, so what? Since when are we expected to be able to accept and believe everything we see or read on a social media site? And why would you expect Marky Zuckerberg, of all people, to accurately check facts for you anyway? I mean, Meta, for whom Marky is the chief executive, donated $1 million to Donald Trump's inaugural fund. Oh, fact-checking? Yeah, okay. And we all know what a truth teller our president is. And facts, since when do they matter? Different polls give different stats, but a very significant number of people in this country still believe the big lie that DJT won the 2020 election. Facebook isn't fact-checking anymore? Who cares? This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
Welcome to Boswell's, where you'll find quality furnishings for every room in your home. Customers ask, do you have solid wood options? Yes, they do. Bamboo, maple, acacia, cherry, mahogany. With 2 floors of quality furniture and complimentary design services, Boswell's design team can create a home that's uniquely yours. For almost a century, people have chosen Boswell's for their quality and customer service. Boswell's Furniture, it's closer than you think.
At Abby's, Toppings to the Edge is a promise we've kept for 60 years and counting. We load our pizzas with fresh ingredients, quality meats, and real cheese, so every bite is legendary. If you can find a better pizza, buy it. Abby's, you just can't top it. Right now, every day is Taco Tuesday at Abby's. Our Taco Especial is on sale 7 days a week. This giant pizza serves up to 6 people and is at a very special price. Order at abbys.com. Give us a call or just drop by. We're family-owned Abby's, a legendary pizza tradition.
When you walk into Doug Merrill's classroom at Wenatchee High School, you might notice a big pile of children's toys. Those toys are components in a lesson plan that not only teaches his students engineering, but also inclusivity. The Adaptive Play class works every day to modify toys to make them more accessible to younger Wenatchee School District children with disabilities. The class is a collaboration between Mr. Merrill, who is set to retire at the end of the school year, and occupational therapist Lindsay Brewer, who recommends toys based on the needs of her students at Lincoln Elementary School. NCWLIFE got the chance to meet the student engineers and be there the first time some of them saw their toys in action.
They love it because they come in and they just start working. And so I don't have to, I do some front-end teaching and instruction, but then every day is like Santa's workshop. And we're putting toys together and adapting cars.
Mr. Merrill actually approached us and was like, I have this idea, and I said I have these students who would really benefit from it, so he figured out how to make them for a very, very affordable cost, and while allowing the students then to learn the process of making them.
We're adding these things that you could plug in a big button, and it will just function how it was supposed to originally, but with a larger button.
We already had this toy, and we just like cut into it and we soldered little like wires onto the already made buttons. So like for kids that have like struggle moving their hands, maybe like it's kind of hard to reach up here, we made like extensions so they can just tap the button instead.
You can just have one big red button. It just like helps them like, so you don't have to like reach all the way up and click the buttons.
Right, the Adaptive Play class is a class set up for students who are interested in engineering, physical therapy, a variety of things. We've been able to mash together 2 curriculum areas where we are letting the kids learn how to problem solve. And it's not things that they just come up with. It is something where the physical therapists will say, hey, we have a need for this certain child. Then the students can lock in on who the toy is for and how to adapt it.
Basically, we're doing the same thing there, just for a bigger toy.
So the idea would be like strap that, like a button like that up on the top, and then make it work for the pedal. It's kind of cool to be able to adapt stuff to make it work for them.
Yeah, he showed us a video, and there's a kid that they had to sit up a little bit and move their upper body and strengthen it, and they'd hit a little like pressure sensor above their head, and the car would drive forward. It's pretty neat.
One little boy that we had, got him into a F-150 Ford pickup, and he was driving around, and he said, "Mom, chase me." And this is a little boy that's got spina bifida and has maybe never asked that ever.
The Switch toys are really expensive to buy. We really only had maybe less than 10 toys in the whole district before this, spread out, and now we have a lot, which is awesome. So sometimes we want toys that are really sensory based, or sometimes we want them movement based or light based. And so we kind of decide what would be a good fit for our students. The students also had a chance to make their own selections based on what we told them. And that was really fun to see what they came up with. And it was nice to get their creative ideas to find those toys.
So there's like a bearing on underneath it with like a piece of wood. So they're like, so then it spins, and then there's just like padding, and then I just put fabric over the padding so it's more comfortable. Because they said that he doesn't like get to go on usual playground equipment, so that's like the closest thing he gets, which I think is pretty cool.
There's certain colors that kids can see better, so we can change those out too and try. Because it's like, oh, maybe that color is better for you. Like, we have a student over here and he loves red. So it's like, well, we can put a red top on a button, and that's pretty easy. So Adam has like some purposeful right there. So he's got that little purposeful use of his right hand. So he can actually, once we get kind of a setup for him, like with the visual field that helps him, then he's able to kind of focus on, he's able to focus. Thank you. He's able to kind of focus on that toy. Okay, there we go. And Adam's favorite toy is the Bluey, and these guys are fixing our Bluey toy because it broke. So that's his favorite toy. I know, like we've talked about, sort of like adapted switches, like like one on an incline. So he is one that it would be great because, like, this is actually, it's really hard because it's flat. So like if it was like this, it almost is easier for him. Ready? To press it. And then I think, there's certain like textures, like I think you guys have talked about like textures on top of a button, right? So you're thinking about all those sensory inputs for them to like kind of help with that.
It's pretty cool. At first I didn't take it as seriously, but after Mr. Merrill kind of explained like what they're actually doing for the kids and how much they actually really do like them, I didn't realize like how much they would actually like use them, but it's actually really cool to see like it go from like building them to them using them. Yeah, the class has definitely grown on me a lot too, but yeah.
I have set it up so that the students will do some activities where I'll say, okay, you can't use these 3 fingers, or you are going to get a piece of popcorn in your shoe, and you're going to see what it's like to have pain all day long as you walk. And so as we start to create this empathy, start to have this understanding of not everybody is like them, and it's really revealing to them that, okay, I'm walking literally in somebody else's shoes for the day. There's certain students that just thrive. They see how things work. They can solve problems with electricity, with mechanical devices, with the toys. They're in their element. And so it's like the old days of just working in the garage. And so this allows them to work on these different toys with different tools that they haven't used before. And so it's super exciting for them.
I've always liked tinkering things. I'm pretty sure I want to be an electrical engineer. I'm going to Oregon State University after high school, and I thought this would be fun and interesting. I mean, I learned a little bit about like Ohm's law, some more like mathematics in electricity, but mostly just working with my hands and soldering has been fun.
What I've been most impressed about is the students' ability to adapt the toys beyond what I had come up with or suggested. Their engineering skills and electrical skills far surpassed what I thought and imagined. And so I think it's also one of those things you learn to not ever doubt the capacity of just teamwork and collaboration, and to give things a try. And sometimes the toys work and sometimes they don't, and it's still a learning opportunity for everybody.
This is the first time we've had it as a standalone class. And we're encouraged because there's been a lot of interest by the students. And so we have almost 50 kids signed up next year, so we can run 2 classes. There's a variety of students and a variety of interests, but they all, deep inside, really want to make a difference, so that as they understand that these are not just labs with no end in mind, there's an end in mind, being able to take care of some student that has a different life than their own.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to Blueberry Hills to experience some real treats. Take a look at our homemade cream pies, our amazing cheesecakes, and don't forget our famous banana pudding. Remember, we're more than just great treats. People come from all over the world to experience what has been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Welcome to the Gilded Lily home, where something extraordinary is waiting for you. The Gilded Lily offers a unique collection of hand-selected, carefully curated items to help you celebrate all of life's special moments. From the budding chef to the home decorator to that very special occasion, there is an abundance of delightful gifts waiting for you. The Gilded Lily home, where you can step in for inspiration and leave with beautiful items to brighten any area of your home.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
Temperature has not moved at all. It was 46 degrees when this show started. It's an hour later. It's still 46 degrees. The clouds will do that. You know, if everybody's in the mid-40s right now. Ellensburg, Freitas at 45, Moses Lake's at 46, Manson 45, Omak 45. Omak got down to 37 degrees earlier today. It's a little bit warmer now. We're heading into Memorial Day weekend, and the National Weather Service is saying now we're not real sure yet, a little uncertain about how the computer models are going to farm out as we get deeper into the week, and we'll have a general idea of what we're looking at probably by Wednesday. But right now it looks pretty good. Pretty good for Memorial Day weekend. Certainly better than the weekend that just passed. We'll see some sunshine. We have a better than 50-50 chance of seeing warmer than normal temperatures. It was a cool weekend. We also have a better than 50-50 chance of seeing more precipitation than we would normally see. But keep in mind, we don't get a lot of precipitation, so it looks right now anyway, that the upcoming Memorial Day weekend, and it's earlier this year, of course, Memorial Day is 1 week from today, the 26th. It's not looking too bad at all, but we got to get there first. So cool and unsettled for the next couple of days from the National Weather Service. Here we go. We're going Sunday all over again. Yesterday we hit 64. Today we're going to be about 64 or 65. Lots of clouds, the occasional raindrop, no big time rain, just light rain. And most of that will be relegated to the morning hours. Whatever rain we get should be done by noon or 1. Clear and breezy tonight, 43 for the overnight low. Lots of sunshine Tuesday, lots of wind Tuesday, and a high of only 64. And although it's going to be a little breezy, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it's not going to be windy, and we have a gradual warming trend. That's what it's looking like right now for Memorial Day weekend. And if this computer model holds true, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, sunshine, temperatures above normal. Bring it on. All right, have a good and safe Monday. Start your Tuesday with us tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.